Hello, everyone. I'm Daniela Bunoica, a Romanian translator and small agency owner. Thank you for stopping by. This is the Translation Podcast, where I invite fellow translators, interpreters, and also connected professionals to talk about their work, challenges, and share meaningful insights. Today, it is my absolute pleasure to invite Iulia Popescu. Iulia is a psychotherapist, hypnotherapist, corporate coach, and group facilitator in well-being workshops with a unique approach to mental health. With over a decade of corporate experience, she understands professionals' challenges from stress and imposter syndrome to work and life balance. Iulia runs transformative mental health workshops for businesses of all sizes for more than 5 years now, focusing on stress management, decision making, and resilience. Her passion for walking shines through her work. She's led social media challenges with people from across the world, highlighting its mental health benefits as a tool for reflection and stress relief. She has walked the famous El Camino in Spain and Portugal 3 times. One time she walked 700 kilometers in 3 weeks, and this year she trekked around Mont Blanc. That's how strongly she believes in the power of walking. She also supports individuals dealing with anxiety, imposter syndrome, low confidence, and severe health challenges like cancer, guiding them with empathy and strength. Iulia's mission is to help people understand and manage their emotions and triggers to keep moving forward in life and work. Welcome, Iulia. I welcome Iulia to this episode to talk to us translators and interpreters around the globe about how to overcome stress. We'll discuss techniques of overcoming fear and anxiety and how to build a plan of action through a new perspective. Iulia, massive welcome.
Thank you very much, Daniela. Thank you very much for the lovely introduction, and I'm really pleased to be here with you today. And I'm really excited to have this conversation.
Amazing. And before we dive right into the topics we prepared for our listeners today, I wanted to ask you to tell us more about your motivation of becoming a psychotherapist and about your journey with us here today.
My motivation about becoming a psychotherapist, I would say, started around 12 years ago. Initially, I chose a different career path. I've studied business and administration in Bucharest, and I was dreaming of working in a nice, fancy, shiny building. And those studies offered me the possibility to have a career for 10 years in corporate, a career that I liked a lot. And I've learned a lot being there for 10 years. However, I never felt I am in love with what I was doing. And that's when psychology, psychotherapy came into picture. And I've studied psychology in Romania, in Bucharest. Then I trained in CBT in Romania and moved to the UK afterwards, where I've decided to continue my studies and to become an integrative psychotherapist. And in time, I've become a group facilitator, as you mentioned, in order to be able to work with bigger teams as well, not only individual therapy. So my motivation, in a nutshell, came from the fact that I wanted, with all my soul, to do something that I really, really love, something that excites me when I wake up in the morning.
Wow. What type of people walk your door, both virtually and in person? Do you work with a lot of professionals whose roles have been impacted by job redundancies or who are stressed at work?
Yes, I work with professionals quite a lot, and I think that's mainly because I have had the corporate experience as a plus, and I work with clients, individual clients. I do individual therapy. I work with adults, and mainly my clients struggle with anxiety, panic attacks, low confidence. We're working really hard on imposter syndrome, and in the last couple of years, I've started working with clients and their families, clients that struggle with cancer or other impactful diagnoses. So I would say the stress from work is a huge impact when it comes to our well-being, to our physical and also mental health. So yeah, that's my area of expertise at the moment.
Yeah, we have a big elephant in everybody's room at this moment, especially in the translation world, but not limited to. The recurring theme in the translation world at the moment and in other professions is the fear and anxiety caused by the rise in generative AI and by the loss of work. So we, the professionals in translation, we are afraid that AI has already started to directly impact the number and types of jobs we get. But in general, in any profession, how do we face the uncertainty, the anxiety, and fear that AI will impact our jobs?
This is indeed a big topic. This is a topic that that is often discussed in my one-to-one sessions with my amazing clients as well. And I would start by suggesting translators and of course people from other fields is to try and reframe their perspective, with regards to their beliefs, with regards to their experiences, with regards to their feelings. When we decide to take a step back and look at the situation with different views, I'm not saying the situation is going to be sorted out, but our perception and our attitude in time towards that specific topic will adjust. And I think it's important to understand that AI and these machine translation tools are there to support you guys, the translators especially. I don't feel they will be ever able to replace the human touch. Another aspect that you can think about it, or translators can think about it, is flexibility, to allow yourself to be flexible when it comes to your work and the day-to-day activities. Also being staying updated and always being in touch with what's happening around the world and with the new tools that are emerging on a weekly basis. I would say it's not and it's not advisable to do it from a place of fear. It's more from a place of curiosity and understanding how those tools can support you and how the tools can make your life a little bit easier. Also, for I'm imagining in your field as well, you have networking events. It's crucial to meet with your colleagues, to meet with your peers, to discuss the challenges that you all are facing currently and see if you can support each other. I'm not suggesting to meet and start complaining about the situation. I'm more suggesting meeting and discussing the AI topic from an optimistic perspective and see how you can use AI to improve your work mainly. And something else that comes to mind when I'm thinking of artificial intelligence, to separate the feelings a little bit, and to when I say to separate yourself from the heat of the moment, it's mostly the case, because no one can replace human touch. No one can replace the knowledge that you guys have. Of course, it may look like the AI is doing an amazing job. However, the knowledge and the expertise and the experience that you guys have, it's more valuable. Don't allow the fear to create a story that can be detrimental to yourself and to your profession, to your job.
Absolutely. Choosing to see AI as an ally and a partner and not a threat, as you said, not from a place of fear, but from a place of curiosity. And AI is not new in the translation world, right? Machine translation has been around for many years in our advantage. Many of us use the computer-assisted tools. But in the AI space, and we talked about this in the first episode with Sarah Tiemann, an interpreter living in Germany. We talked about how we can use AI for automation of tasks, right, and help us in the day-to-day activities. But we can also use it. I've started using it to ask questions related to a specific terminology. For instance, I started using it quite a lot in the medical in the medical field, where I sometimes ask, what is this? What would be the equivalent in our language? So there's much that we can do. And to the networking groups, this is really interesting. Recently, different computer-assisted tools developers, but also different translation associations have started to schedule seminars and workshops exactly to motivate translators in using AI and seeing AI as a partner, both for productivity, but also for linguistic purposes. So there are many out there, some that were scheduled by the Trados team. There was one last week organized by the European Commission translation body, which is interesting. I'll post the link in the comment window. How do we decouple ourselves from this paralyzing fear? Because I think this is what's happening at the moment. Some of us were at that stage where we don't really know in which direction to go because we're so paralyzed about the fear of losing our jobs, losing our clients, when we feel that we're spiraling, right? So how can we decouple ourselves from this paralyzing fear, and how do we work towards a clear plan in our mind?
I would start by understanding that fear it's a normal response, and fear pairs with the flight, fight, freeze response, and in a way see if you can, or like people that do translation, or other jobs as well, if they can normalize it. Fear it's a normal reaction, and also what can be crucial is understanding the brain's role when we're talking about fear, and also the body's role when we're talking about fear. For example, the brain's role, the amygdala, which is the brain emotional center. When we are petrified, when we have that intense that intense feeling of fear, we might not be able to understand our emotions straight away. We might not be able to take clear decisions. And we have also the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for reasoning and for planning. And when we have that fear, sometimes it might be quite difficult to take clear actions, to take clear steps in sorting the issue that is emerging. So we have the brain on one side, and then we have also the body reactions. And when we're talking about the body reactions, we are talking deep, intense breathing, hyperventilation. We are talking about feeling the body in a more agitated state and having difficulty, probably, or for some people, it's difficulty breathing, and having the muscles tightening. So it's important to be aware of that and to understand what's happening to us in that moment from a brain and from a body perspective. And in a way, approaching this holistically and joining these two aspects, the brain and the body. Sometimes a therapist can help regulate, can help you to regulate your emotions, but not everyone is in therapy. Not everyone is considering to start therapy. So people can try simple tasks, simple exercises like, I don't know, journaling. It's a great way of releasing some of those fears. Walking, of course, I am a big supporter of walking, to decouple ourselves, to detach ourselves from the fear, from the anxiety. Meditation, there are so many tools, thanks to some of the AI stuff, so thanks to technology. There are so many apps, there are so many tutorials on YouTube where we can practice meditation, of course, yoga. And again, I will repeat this, being with people. We heal through people. That's a reality. We heal whilst we are in social groups. It's important to be quite selfish when it comes to ensuring that you have a social support system. It doesn't need necessarily to be people from the same field. So it doesn't need necessarily to be people who are translators. The support group can be your family, can be your friends, or people from other fields, because some of the challenges when we're talking about fear and anxiety are similar from person to person, no matter what you do. So surround yourself with good people. Being, like you've mentioned, networking, being with people in the same room, having the same purpose. That's healing in itself, because you are in a room with, I don't know, 50, 100 people, and they all have the same goal in mind. And also, when you feel the fear, when you feel the anxiety developing, see if you can remind yourself, why did you choose this profession? To remember the purpose behind your decision to become a translator. I'm imagining, I'm not a translator, but I'm imagining it's not only about linguistic. It's about helping people with their, legal documents. It's about helping people with their medical documents. It's about translating some culturally sensitive information as well. So it goes towards the human interaction, the human relationship. So as long as you have the ability to go towards yourself, towards your inner self, see if you can remember, why did I choose to do this? Why did I choose to have to do this profession? And there are so many strategies as well when we're talking about anxiety, when we're talking about fear. Fear and anxiety are not necessarily the same, but there are so many breathing exercises that you can do. Like, one simple exercise that comes to mind right now is a deep breathing exercise. Is to inhale for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, and exhale for another 4 seconds, and repeat it. You might feel dizzy at the beginning, but in time, with a little bit of practice, that will become a little bit easier. There are exercises as well, grounding techniques exercises. I use the grounding technique 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 with my clients. It's super efficient. It helps you to stick within the present moment. So the exercise is like, be there in the moment and look at 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can touch, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. It's a simple, easy task that people can do when we feel that we are overwhelmed, when we feel that intense fear. And I think it's important to also have a plan in mind for yourself when we're talking about the fear of AI, for example. Yeah, having all this technology helping us make a clear plan for you. How are you intending to work moving forward? For example, small tasks that you assign to yourself, specific tasks, rather than, I don't know, I'm gonna sort this problem. See if you can look at it and break it in small steps, and rather than sorting a big problem as like, I'm going to send an email by 2 p.m, I'm going to call a client that needs something related to translation and so on. So be quite specific. Have a structure as well. The brain likes certainty. Having a structure will give a sense of, not control in a negative way, but it will give you a sense of ownership by having that control. And whilst you are working on implementing these steps in order to create that plan for you, allow yourself to be flexible and to have a positive mindset, I would say. And I'm not talking about toxic positivity here. I'm not saying that we should ignore what's happening and say to ourselves all the time, everything is fine, and ignoring the environment. But being optimistic, it's not ignoring challenges, is deciding to have a different perspective when it comes to our day-to-day issues. And again, I will emphasize the human relationship. Create good relationships with your clients. That's vital, because we as humans, I said we because I'm a therapist. I always think from the psychotherapist in me comes up quite often. But as translators, you work with people. At the end of the day, you don't work with a tool. Yeah, you interact with them, and I'm sure they will share stories with you when they have requirements for, I don't know, medical documents and so on. So create that bond with your clients, and be empathic if you can.
I love that. Lots of things to unpack there. Lots of really good advice. Iulia, do you have an advice for when we feel overwhelmed? We feel that everything is on top of us and we want to plan, but we don't know where to start. How can we break it down a little further for those who are listening? How can we plan when we are so overwhelmed?
Understand where is the overwhelm feeling coming from. If it is something that you can sort in practicality, is it a real clear situation that you can sort out? I don't know what comes to mind. I'm inventing a little bit, not being a translator, so I'm imagining how the job looks. But if you have, I don't know, 10 documents to translate in 1 week, and you feel like it's too much, or the knowledge in the sense of information is not there, and the external factors are stressing you, I don't know, having a tool that might be doing the job instead of you. Break it in small steps, and take a step back. Don't react necessarily in the moment, and don't accept that imperfect decisions are better than taking no decision, no action. At the end of the day, an imperfect decision, it's about it's progress, because you are doing something for your profession. You are doing something for your clients. And also, after, I don't know, you finished a translation, or you finished a legal document, reward yourself. And when I say reward yourself, I mean like small gifts to yourself. And it can be I don't know, a hot chocolate. It can be a walk. It can be, I don't know, buying something nice for you, because that will increase your motivation. That will make you feel better about the job that you have done. And again, have a group of translators, like a group of support, people with whom you can meet and discuss your day, discuss your week. It's not necessarily to meet in order to complain. It's to meet or to have a phone call, to meet in order to vent, to release some of the stress that occurred during the day. Always being flexible. So if you set up some deadlines and for some reason, factors that you can't control, those deadlines can't be achieved, don't punish yourself. Don't ruminate necessarily in a negative way. Allow yourself the permission to delay stuff. Sometimes allow yourself the possibility to make a mistake when it comes to scheduling and planning. Being kind and having that self-compassionate attitude towards yourself, because we express sometimes compassion towards others, but we rarely do it towards yourself. Having that self-compassion developed within your soul, it's also helpful long term. Don't put the pressure on you. We have the environment putting the pressure already. Make sure you look after yourself in that sense as well, from that perspective.
I love it. In my previous podcast episodes, Iulia, we talked about difficult or sensitive situations for interpreters this time. We have to interpret live for different scenarios for different type of customers, where we are put under a lot of pressure and we're also processing a lot of disturbing content. Would you like to share with us a few techniques of how we can disconnect, that we can practice either in that moment if things are too much for us to take, or more likely after it has ended?
That's a tough job, Daniela. I think it's quite intense. I would suggest the interpreters to acknowledge and to accept that whatever they are feeling, it's normal. It's normal to have feelings. It's normal to have reactions to complex situations. Because I'm imagining the job is done sometimes in police stations or courtrooms, so the content is quite. It can be quite heavy. A good view, like a perspective, is to think that you are the vehicle. You're not the container of their experiences. So whatever happened in their life, you're not there to sort out the emotions that they might feel. Of course, you could be, and it's advisable to be empathetic with people, but those are not your emotions. And there are a few good techniques that interpreters can do. For example, like the grounding technique that I've mentioned earlier, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. It's a good one to help you to stay in the moment, or separate yourself whilst you are in a situation when you are translating for someone else. Separate yourself from their emotions by, I don't know, just imagine before you get into that situation that you are covered by a protective shield and you are there to facilitate the translation. You are not there to take in all those emotions. If it happens, to absorb some of the emotions, because we are humans. You can, in the moment, you can, I don't know, try and focus on a neutral object. I don't know, if you have a pen around you, or if you have a clock, you can look at it and detach yourself for a couple of seconds from the heat of the moment, from that moment. And also like a cleanse after you finish the I don't know how you call it, the session, or after you finish the translation, see if you, I don't know, wash your hands, wash your face. So it signals that the event is over. Yeah, the translation is basically it's finalized. So your job finishes there. Something else that comes to mind is straight after you finish the interaction with the person for whom you are translating, is to engage in a creative activity like journaling, or I don't know, listening to a song that you enjoy listening to, or doing something creative in order to help you to process the emotions of the moment. Of course, talk. I'm not sure, but I'm imagining some of the informations are confidential, so you can't actually discuss it probably with your friends or with other people. But I'm imagining there's a support system in place as well. Discuss it with your peers to a level where you're allowed to, because that will help you as well. Vent. It will help you hopefully normalize some of the emotions that you are feeling towards a specific situation. Breathing exercises are great. Again, the 4-4-4 breathing technique, I would call that, like inhale for 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 4. And whilst you are inhaling, imagine that you are inhaling calmness, and whilst you are exhaling, just imagine you are releasing the tension of the moment, the tension of the situation. And I can think of, for example, cognitive restructuring. If you have some intrusive thoughts, some negative thoughts that come up for you in the moment, see if you can give a counter argument to it. See if you can rephrase what's happening for you in the moment. I don't know, if you are saying to yourself, I'm doing a terrible job, or I'm not supportive enough. So whatever comes for everyone in that moment, to replace it with something like, I am here to facilitate communication. I am here to help the client with the language barriers and so on. See if you can always reframe it, because we have so many thoughts during the day, and in a stressful situation, in a work environment, those thoughts can't be necessarily controlled. And it's important for you guys, for interpreters, to be comfortable in their own body, to be comfortable so you can actually do the job and not necessarily take home the pressures that you have experienced during the day, and the impact that came up with the content. Because I'm imagining the content can be quite intense in some situations. I've never worked with someone with an interpreter to say that I have the experience to understand the topics, but I've seen movies, and I can understand what's the cost to the emotion, to your well-being, to your emotional state. So these are like quick exercises that came to mind, quick techniques that you can do in order to release some of the tension. And be kind to yourself. If you don't feel up to the job, mention this to I don't know, if you have supervisors or people with whom you work. I think it's okay in your field as well to say, like, I can't take on this case, I can't take this client because I'm not comfortable with. You are like, we are humans. We all have some limits. We all have some boundaries that we should. It's advisable to put them in place to protect ourselves, because it's about the sustainability of your profession as well, and the things that you're doing. The moment you accept to do jobs that you're not comfortable, or jobs that can damage your health, that can lead in time to burnout and chronic stress. And that's not something that anyone wants to experience in their professional or like personal life as well.
Right. Yeah, that you're spot on, Yulia, and that those are some really useful pieces of advice. And it's true, in some legal or medical situations, the court would, they would shield you. They would ask you to, step out for certain parts of the trials, or even nowadays, there aren't too many medical interpreters in the room with a doctor, because it's quite intense. So they do a lot of interpreting over the phone,
Mhm.
which helps. But in some situations, they're still required, and that's why it is really important to not to take it onto yourself so personally, and to try to detach yourself. So thanks for asking this question. This was one of the questions that many people have asked me to ask you, so thanks for
Okay.
that.
Thank you.
Going back to positivity, and you mentioned toxic positivity. So first of all, I'm interested in the comparison between these two. So what is positivity versus toxic positivity? How do you think we can stay, positive when we feel overwhelmed? We talked also about the fact that you like to walk, right? So doing physical activities, you have a walking challenge that you posted on your social media profiles, and on top of that, you've walked the famous El Camino in Spain and Portugal 3 times. You've even trekked Mont Blanc this year, and that is for sure commendable, to say the least. What can you tell us about these experiences, and what can you tell us about doing physical things outside of our living room, as I like to call it, because we do a lot of work from home?
Yeah, and as you know, Daniela, I am a big supporter of walking for mental health, and I've been talking about this in the last 4 years. I think at least once per week, especially on social media. But I also talk about it in my personal life, and I feel and I think, and I've tried it on my body, on myself. Walking, it's invaluable. Of course, I believe psychotherapy, it's helpful. Coaching, it's helpful. The support system, it's helpful. Having good family and friends relationships, having a good relationship with talking about positivity, having a good relationship with your partner, with your siblings, they're all important things. But sometimes are not enough. And why I think walking, it's so healthy. It gives you a break. It gives you, for example, I promote a lot the idea of walk for 20 minutes every day. It doesn't matter how's the weather. It doesn't matter necessarily how you feel in that specific moment. Go outside. If you can't do 20, try at least to do 10 minutes. It will take you out from your environment. So if you work in a stressful environment, and or if you have loads of tasks at home to look after kids, family, siblings, parents, give yourself permission and create that space for you to be with yourself. Walking on your own, it's great as well, and that helps settling your thoughts in a way. That helps connecting a little bit with your body. It depends how long you're walking, but it's quite helpful even though you walk for a couple of minutes, because it takes you out of your system and it takes you back to your own body. So it's like a restart in a way. No matter when you decide to go for a walk during the day or at the end of the day, it's you rejoining yourself, connecting with yourself. Because at the end of the day, we could all ask ourselves, like, who am I? So yes, I am a translator, I am a therapist, I am an accountant, I am a mom, I am a dad, I'm a sibling. But who are you at the end of the day? And I think walking might facilitate some of the answers, and might facilitate that awareness of being in the moment. And like I've tested on myself, like as you mentioned about my journey's Camino, and my first journey, my first itinerary when I decided to do El Camino del Santiago, was to be brave enough to take a decision back then at a professional level. And I went and started the journey having so many fears and having so much anxiety with regards to the decisions that I was planning to take. And I said to myself, I'm going to do this. I'm going to walk. I'm going to go back to basics. The only responsibilities that I had were to have a shower, find an accommodation at the end of the day, eat, sleep, and socialize with people that I've met along the road. And that resilience was built day by day. So I remember the first 10 days were quite difficult at the physical level, the pain, and I had no blisters, but the body was reacting to the level of stress that I was exposing it to. But then after 10 days, I got that mental clarity. I understood so many things about myself and deciding to go on my own, outside all my roles. The roles of being a daughter, being a partner, being a therapist, being a friend. That was fantastic. It was fabulous because it helped me connect with myself, hence taking the decisions that I needed to take back then. And also the strength that you get from walking, because it's the physical strength that you develop in time. You are fitter, you breathe better, you walk better, you sleep better. And of course, when the body feels better, your mind will feel better, and there's the connection between the brain and the body. And I think walking together with other stuff that we can do that are beneficial, it's crucial, it's healthy, and it's such a simple activity. Majority of us, we can walk, and it doesn't cost money. It's easy. You just need a pair of comfortable shoes, and if you live in the UK, a good enough equipment to protect yourself from the rain. And other than that, you can easily do it. And like part of the challenges that I do, and I'm doing one this month, and I called it more like a therapeutical walking as well. And I see on my group of people, I see the benefits. And some of the people who decided to walk in my challenges, they won't notice the advantages, the benefits straight away. But after 2 or 3 weeks, they will start saying, like, I feel better, I sleep better, I'm a little bit calmer, I have other goals, I have more trust in myself, I think my strengths are so and so and so. So it kind of shifts your perspective, and it helps implementing a healthy habit. We all have unhealthy habits sometimes, like we watch, I don't know, too much Netflix, we scroll through too much on social media, probably we eat too much chocolate, we drink too much coffee, wine, and so on. So having those unhealthy habits, I feel like everyone has it nowadays, and it's quite difficult to break them. And walking, it's a good, easy alternative. I'm not saying that unhealthy habits need to stay there. Absolutely not. We can reframe, and our brain has the ability to adapt the neuroplasticity of the brain. We can create new neuronal paths in order to create new habits. And that was walking for me, creating it was basically creating a new life, a new emotional life for me, and being braver and more positive, because you've mentioned about positivity. I remember there were some intense days, let's say, with a lot of rain, and I was walking on my own, and I would always say to myself, if I manage to finalize this number of kilometers at the end of the day, I can do anything in life. So it gives you that confidence, that power in yourself, and trusting your brain, your mind, and trusting your body in the same time. So yeah, I'm never going to stop talking about walking, and testing the benefits on myself, I think for me it was enough. And in the last couple of years, since I'm doing the walking challenges, I've seen it on other people as well.
I love it. How can we join your walking challenge? Is it a global? Can we do it from anywhere in the world?
Yes, it is. I have people from Europe, Germany, Spain, Romania, Italy, of course, the UK, Poland. So it's I'm calling it. We are walking online, but we are online joining, and everyone walks wherever they can. And there are people who don't have like too much nature around them, and they decide to do their steps at the gym, which is still good. It's another way of moving your body. So I have a Facebook group, Walk with Iulia, and usually people enroll there, and we only send screenshots with the number of steps that we've done, and we feel proud that we've managed to do it, and we encourage each other. And I had days as well when I wasn't in the mood to walk, or I was too busy, but having the group there and seeing occasional comments or seeing occasional tags from people saying, oh, I've managed to walk, I don't know, half an hour, or like I've managed to I don't know, do 5 kilometers, that usually motivates me to go out for a walk. Sometimes I go out for a walk at 9 p.m. only because I see so much energy in the group, and I see the motivation, and I'm like, okay, that's helping me as well. So that's how you can join the group, through
I love
Facebook
it.
at the moment.
I love it. The walking tribe, Iulia's walking tribe.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. I will post the link to Iulia's walking group in the group description, as well as her social media profiles and her website. So if you want to get in touch with Iulia, you can do it directly with her. Iulia, thank you so much for joining today. This was special. We are recording this episode for translators and interpreters around the world, and it will air between Christmas and New Year's. So this is our gift to you. It is our gift to you, so that you feel more energized. You have tips and tricks from a trained professional, but also back to what Iulia said about finding our purpose, right? Getting back to why we chose this career for in the first place, for people, because of people and for people. Thank you, Iulia.
Thank you very much, Daniela, for your kind invitation, and I hope this conversation, the conversation that we had, will benefit loads of people. Of course, people in your in your field, in the translation industry, but not only in the translation industry. Mental health and well-being is applicable in any type of job. So I hope it's going to be super useful.
It sure will. Thank you.
Thank you very much.